Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Tyler, and today I am bringing you guys another Cobra Kai theory. I know we haven't done one of these in quite a long time, but I've been trying to actually unironically come up with some theories, but I've just kind of ran out of all of the ideas I could think of since I've just been spamming theories once I thought of a bunch of them. But here today, I've actually decided to do one of the theories that I briefly discussed in another theory, which was with the inevitable rematch between, or the inevitable fight between Daniel and Terry that's been built up since Karate Kid 3, and today I want to go a little bit more in depth with that theory and basically explain why I believe Terry and Daniel will have to fight this season and why Daniel versus Terry is actually going to be very important and basically a way for Daniel to grow this season. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you want more Cobra Kai content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. That would be greatly appreciated, and if you hit the bell icon, you will be updated and notified when I upload, as usually a lot of people, surprisingly, who are even subscribed don't even get notifications for my videos. So the bell icon actually helps with that, and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just gonna shut up and stop telling you to do things, and you can now watch and enjoy my theory. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, usually I would play my typical music that I play in my normal videos, but since this is a theory, I figured why not do something a little different with my theory videos, and, you know, as I'm deep diving, why don't you listen to a lot more calming music, you know, not like a remix or anything. So we're going to be keeping the piano music that I briefly played in the intro here. Okay, so the reason why I believe Daniel versus Terry is going to happen is because this was actually briefly talked about in Season 3, when Daniel and Sam were actually talking to each other, and when Sam was trying to talk to Daniel about her fear, Daniel would relate to Sam and actually bring up the fear that he once felt in Karate Kid 3 when he faced Mike Barnes. And he even made a statement saying that he still feels this fear and lives with it to this day. Now, this fear, we have to understand, was completely caused by Terry, and Terry basically took advantage of that fear that Daniel was feeling against Mike Barnes and manipulated it, and it almost cost him the match, but luckily Daniel conquered that fear thanks to Mr. Miyagi, and he defeated Mike Barnes. Now, you guys are wondering, well, this is talked about with Sam, who conquers her fear, and Daniel conquers it anyway, but we have to understand that Daniel still lives with this fear to the end of this day, and this was all caused by Terry. And now that he's returning in Season 4, that means the fear that Daniel once felt long ago can actually return now and would give Daniel some conflict to try and overcome over the course of the season. Daniel has already gone through multiple arcs in his life, you know, the arrogance that he was feeling towards in Season 1 when he was trying to go about shutting down Cobra Kai a wrong way, but Amanda basically helped him through that. Daniel trying to find balance in his life in Season 2, and dealing with the guilt that he once felt by basically turning Robbie in, and he knows that majority of what happened to Robbie is kind of his fault, and he's going to have to live with that guilt. Daniel, this time around, is not going to deal with arrogance, balance, nor guilt. This time, he's going to conquer fear. The fear that he never truly got over in his life back when he first felt it in Karate Kid 3. Even though he temporarily conquered it to defeat Mike Barnes, he still lives with that fear. And now that fear can further be expressed upon and dived into now that Terry Silver, the very man that caused majority of that fear throughout the film that Daniel could barely conquer without the words of Miyagi, is returning in Season 4. And I think Daniel is going to be still feeling guilty of Robbie, and that's going to be expressed upon by having Terry train Robbie, obviously clearly resembling, you know, Terry training a former Miyagi-Do student, just like what he did with Daniel. And I can see throughout the season Daniel trying to stop Robbie and trying to bring him back to Miyagi-Do, but slowly but surely it's going to be too late for Robbie, and he will be fully consumed within Cobra Kai and basically embracing the Quicksilver method, the method that Daniel once felt that was actually, you know, needed at the time, but soon realized that that is not the way to go. And I think Terry especially would do this in character, since his whole thing is manipulating, and him manipulating Daniel's best student, or his #1 student that he's seen as a son, and manipulating that boy to slowly be under Kreese and Terry's wraps, and basically Robbie just denying Daniel the one person that Daniel doesn't want to be denied by. It's just a manipulative story that Terry just loves to see, because that's what Terry mainly does. He manipulates and he just watches it all unravel and just laughs in the background. And when Daniel realizes what Terry's doing and tries to see through his flaws, he would probably try and call him out, and at that point he would personally go down to the Cobra Kai dojo where he and Kreese are training Robbie currently, and we can see Robbie maybe doing the exact same training that Terry was having Daniel do all alone back in Karate Kid 3, but now Daniel is witnessing this all unravel, and it's like literally looking at a mirror. And Daniel would try to reach Robbie, trying to tell him that Terry is just doing all of this for his own manipulative gain, and Terry and Kreese would then show themselves, revealing themselves, and try to scare Daniel just like how they did when he was a kid back in Karate Kid 3. Anyways, I can definitely see at this point Kreese and Terry just trying to fool around and screw with Daniel's head, showing how he wasn't good enough to save Robbie, and Kreese would basically put his hands on Robbie's shoulders like he's his own son. And obviously throughout season 4, Johnny would be accompanying Daniel, so maybe Johnny could even come in and see this happen and try and tell Kreese to take his hand off of him, and at that point we could have Kreese and Johnny try and go at it once again. But the main focus here is the build-up between Daniel and Terry and Daniel's arc over the course of the season, the fear of not being good enough and him realizing that he was too late and not good enough. He just doesn't know what to do with himself, and Terry would start taking advantage, laughing at Daniel's face, and Daniel would try and throw his hands at Terry, but him obviously being, not in the right state of mind, Terry would take advantage and basically just start beating up this weakened Daniel. Daniel would then remember to himself that he can't lose to fear, and obviously after being beaten up by Terry and realizing that just because he was too late, it doesn't mean that the battle's fully over. He can win without Robbie and hopefully try and bring him back after the battle. And regardless, Mr. Miyagi taught him to never give up and never lose to fear, and that's not what Daniel's gonna succumb to. So as Terry's about to deal the final blow towards Daniel, and we could see Robbie being rather hesitant towards this, Daniel at the last minute would then catch Terry's attack and would basically throw him across the room, and we would see paint fall on his head, just like what Mr. Miyagi did to Terry all those years ago. Daniel would start to begin to do kata, which would confuse Terry Silver, similar to how it actually confused his disciple back in Karate Kid 3, and Terry Silver anyways is just going to go in for an attack, but Daniel would just slam him and throw him onto the ground, easily defeating Terry Silver, and at that point would almost think about killing him with the pressure point technique, but again, he would just stop himself just like how he did in season 3, showing that he's carrying on the Miyagi-Do philosophy. Now, in my opinion, this is my predictions on what Daniel's arc in season 4 will look like and how Terry Silver is going to play a major role into this, and I think after Robbie seeing this, hell, maybe Robbie can even snap back to the good side. So Daniel having this arc and fearing about him not being good enough to save Robbie in the end is actually good enough to save Robbie. That'd be pretty ironic, and in all honesty, I can definitely see that happening. However, we do know that Cobra Kai is going to be having like another 3 seasons, so you never know. Maybe Robbie will stay evil for like another whole season and then he snaps back in season 5. We'll never know, but I think this arc with Daniel and Terry is definitely going to happen. Now, if you do agree with my theory or if you disagree with my theory, let me know your reasonings down below in the comments section, and be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this theory, as, this theory was just off my head, off the top of my head, no script, no nothing, so if I did stutter, if I did mess up, I would understand why I did so, and I'll probably just edit those out. But in all honesty, this theory was a lot of fun to make, and if you did enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Again, that would mean so much to me, and hit the bell icon that way you are notified and updated when I upload. Follow me on Twitter, that will be linked in the description, and I'll see you all later. My name is Tyler, and I'm going to catch you all on the next one. Peace out. Have a nice rest of the day, everybody.